Hey, how's it going, everybody? Welcome back to The Beat Stop. Today I'm going to be joined by Lauren Kashuk. Lauren is the founder of Ideaison, and we're going to be talking about their upcoming event, the Retrospekt Festival, in this interview. Before we get started, don't forget to hit subscribe and turn on notifications for future Beat Stop videos. Enjoy. Lauren, thank you so much for joining me. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me.
So I'm sure it's a busy week for you. We're just days away from this event, the Retrospekt Festival. So let's just get right into it. What is the Retrospekt Festival, and what is your role, and how did it come to be?
Retrospekt it's a cinematic music experience. So if you're probably like, what the hell does that mean? Really, the whole premise of this is my team, we produce experiences, music festivals, events in non-COVID times. And we do a lot as well in the digital space, creating content with my company Ideaison. And then really where this all kind of came from is we're music fans and lovers, and we have been, deep in the live stream consumption, observing events and festivals, that everyone pivot to live streams right now because we're in this weird quarantine time. And the big thing that we observed is that they all felt really similar to each other. Number one, they lacked creativity. Number two, and we just thought, you know what, we can do this better, and not only better, but more unique and more curated. So I think the thing that there's so many things I'm proud about for Retrospekt and what bands are going to experience, but among them, we worked really, really hard to curate a cross-genre lineup. So our artists are not just in one category of music, which I think is really cool. And that's something that I've observed. Festival fans, music lovers go to music festivals to discover music, but they don't only want to discover it in one genre. They want to, you walk by a stage, like I have so many memories of working and attending festivals, and you walk to one show, and on the way to the other, you hear an awesome artist you might not have heard, and you all of a sudden have a new artist that you're a fan of. And I've observed the music fans and lovers, friends, people in and out of the industry are hungry for that.
Yes.
So we really did our due diligence to curate that on the music part. But the other part about this is we work a lot in the experiential space. So we create a lot of immersive environments. We work with actual tangible installation artists. And that was something else that we were craving, is an actual tangible experience for the artists, the musicians, and the bands and DJs to play in. So for us, it just was really not visually stimulating to watch a DJ, a band, a musician, you name it, in their living room with two static cameras on them. And, I have a creative background. I grew up in my early career days working in creative ad agencies. I worked on creative teams in tech for a while. And the thing that I love is to help tell stories and really create interesting and compelling content. And that's something that my company Ideaison does. So we observed this. We were like, wait a second. We feel like there's a huge opportunity to create something different, create a new path, innovate what is already a pretty new industry with the live stream space, and really step it up a notch and give exposure not just to the amazing musical lineup, but some of the actual installation artists as well, because we have 4 installations, like stages. They're really like large scale installations where the artists are playing in. That's recorded over a 2-week period.
Got it. Okay, very cool. So that sounds really exciting. And, I agree. I think there is a key component in the festival experience that is missing, in that there isn't kind of that happenstance, kind of just stumbling upon an artist anymore, because, you're streaming. There isn't that, hey, let's all go do this or see this person with friends. It's, I'm going to sit in my living room and turn this thing on. So in that case, it's going to be, you're only going to tune into people that you probably already know or you've heard of, and you're not discovering as much.
So the event stands out to me because there is this emphasis on underrepresented communities and culture. Could you speak, that's not something that we see a lot as far as virtual events go. Could you just speak more to those areas of focus, and how are you highlighting them?
Totally. So just for context, the group of people behind the scenes who are producing this experience, we're all underrepresented. So we're all women, people of color, LGBTQIA, and that has kind of been within the core of who we are across the board in our point of view in the creative industries. So in past years, my company Ideaison has always championed those who are underrepresented in the music space. And we didn't see, as it related to the live stream, if we were going to be putting like our stamp on something and standing for something, it was really, really important to us to bring the voices of those who just frankly are not focused on enough to the forefront. So not only did we want to raise the bar creatively, musically, production wise, we have an amazing sound crew. Every aspect of this is unlike what you've seen, really, in my opinion. But it was also really important for us to elevate the voices of people who normally, to be honest, and the data shows, they're just not given enough of a platform. If you look at the numbers of women, people of color, LGBTQIA, specifically music industry, it's pretty bad when you look at normal quote festival lineups and you see the breakdowns.
Yeah.
And the challenge that we faced was understanding restrictions with COVID, which affects in general genres. I think we did a really freaking great job crossing all the genres in light of that being geographically limited in LA and facing a lot of hurdles. But it was equally as important to us to put our stamp on something and stand up for what we believe in and advocate for those people. And something that I just want to add is we have been working on this concept for the past 4 months. And it was interesting because when we concepted it, this has always been true to who we are. And then everything kind of erupted with all of the Black Lives Matter protests. And the thing that, to us, we had a lot of internal dialogues. It actually affected our filming dates and a lot of other aspects of this. And even the air dates, which we pushed back. And it was important to us to stay authentic with what we were doing. And what feels really good about it is that we've been consistent with our messaging from when we started this. Nothing has really changed. It's just all of a sudden the world are focusing more on some of the issues that we've always known were important and have always wanted to bring attention to.
I love that. It sounds like there's enormous amounts of purpose and intention behind this event, which is just something that we don't see a whole lot.
I wanted to speak a little bit about the lineup. So there are some artists that I'm personally a fan of, and then there's this section, the Retrospekt experience. So could you just give us like a top-down kind of look at who's playing, and then what is that Retrospekt experience and what can people expect from it?
There's a little bit of something for everyone. So we have a really strong house track. I'm a house music girl. We have Annabelle England, who is in Wave XR, which we can get into in a second, and Vintage Culture too. He's Brazilian and getting a whole bunch of momentum as well. The Knox, who I've loved for like 15 years.
I love the Knox.
I love them
I'm
too.
very excited that they're playing.
And then we have a lot of really cool artists who are up and coming. We have Akira and Heike, and both those guys are in the Diplo camp. They're on the Mad Decent label. Brandon Coleman, he's in the Kamasi Washington crew, the West Coast Get Down. So they're kind of a revered musician collective in LA. Capiac, who are like disco. They're kind of gold. Not gold room. They're disco vibes. Who am I thinking? Poolside, sorry. But Gold Room is on our lineup. We want this to be fun. It's summertime and like everyone's distant right now, but like what feels like authentic and unique and like vibey and summertime and easy to listen to, because that's very much the point of view of a lot of our lineup. And it's like Gold Room, Goldfish, Capiac, like just feel good music that you can listen to. You can stream it in your living room. You can open the windows in your house and like pretend that you're laying in the grass at a festival for a few hours. Molly Moore, who got a call out from like Billie Eilish 2 weeks ago. Sad Money is on Chris Lake's management teams. I became a fan of him after seeing him. I was like, where have you been? Can you play every single party that I ever want to have in the future? Trish's is a she does all of her own live looping, vocal work, and also does a whole bunch of spoken word poetry throughout. More Kismet, who they're getting a whole bunch of credit in the dance space right now, which is dubstep. So we really kind of touch a little bit on everything. That, to me, is the ideal lineup in my team. And that's why we curated it in the way that we did. So the stages are broken down by the past, present, and future. And the whole nod to this is life in retrospect. We're just in this really weird phase of life right now where what is time? What day of the week is it? Where are we? Like there's this, and looking back at life in retrospect, right? Like what, and I think that that's really the core of what we're about. It's taking inspiration from these events and festivals and experiences that so many of us have participated in together, we've worked on, maybe we've met at, and creating a better future. So it's taking inspiration from the past to inform the present to create something beautiful for our futures.
I love that. Yeah, it sounds like you've got every genre with even a little bit of spoken word sprinkled in there and made its way in there somehow. So
and
it sounds like there's something for everyone.
I forgot. So the Retrospekt experience I'm stoked about. It is a curated band, all of LA-based musicians. They are all credible musicians on their own right. Some are, you know, revered with the artists that they play with and tour with. And they have curated a unique set for the fans. So they're covering a wide range of songs, playing them in their own way, arranging them in their own way. And it's cool because, I mean, this was a 7-8 instrument band, and we were doing the live sound mixing in real time because we were recording at one of the most respected rehearsal spaces in LA, the Beehive. It's kind of really well known in the music industry and respected. It's where The Weeknd rehearses, Maggie Rogers, Louis the Child, actually Morgan on our lineup. And so our sound team are real sound engineers who would live mix a show, and they live mixed the shows as well. So everything that you're going to be seeing and hearing is at the same quality that you would see if you were there. You
spoke a little bit about Wave XR, and some of the artists on the lineup poster have that associated with their names. So what is Wave XR, and you know, what can we expect from that?
Oh my God. Wave XR is going to blow everyone's minds. Their original claim to fame, they did work with Ready Player One. So the movie that actually launched, like they're honestly on the leading edge of mixed reality. So I think we've all seen festivals dip their toes in this a little bit with some augmented reality plays, some virtual reality, some overlays, some green screen. But what Wave XR does is they are actually working with mixed reality designers to create, it's our fourth stage, is a mixed reality stage. So on that stage, it's a custom 3D world created in collaboration with the artist. And you're observing that world of that set from the artist. They've collaborated with John Legend, Tinashe, Jaws they also worked with, Rez. Fans are not going to experience anything like this and at the level that they are. And every set is going to feel entirely different in Wave XR based on the artist. So Vintage Culture's set is totally different than Sophie Tucker's because their aesthetics are different.
This event is benefiting a couple of organizations. So I was curious, what are those organizations and how did you go about picking them?
Sure. So first and foremost, Retrospekt is a nonprofit itself. So we are raising funds to support the artists on our lineup. Not just the talent on the music side, but we also have artists like Push Projects. They're the installation artists. They create art across the US, heavily known in New York for a club called Elsewhere, have done work in museums. We have like large scale installation pieces at our stages. So they're like, for example, they're an artist collective who designed our present stage. So we're raising donations for them as much as we are for the Jay Wara and Goldfish and all the artists on our lineup. So the festival is a nonprofit to raise money for that. And then there's also going to be donations to 2 charities that are very, very close to us. One is MusiCares. So that's the official charitable donation through the Grammys. So that goes to anyone who's been affected in the live music, live event, entertainment space, who can show that they've worked in music for the past 3 years, is credible to receiving a MusiCares check. And why that was unique to us is because we work frequently on production teams, on events, on festivals, and there aren't a lot of things, frankly, that a lot of the people in the entertainment world are qualified for. But that's one that they are. But you know, as soon as they get the funds, they're depleted of them because of the demand. So we're raising money to give to MusiCares to be able to give to anyone in the entertainment side. And then also to Write Love on Her Arms, who fight mental health. They're big supporters of mental health awareness. They fight suicide, depression, abuse, And they have a really rich history in the music space. We actually met them working closely with them with a previous client on site with Electric Forest Music Festival in Michigan.
Okay.
And they're really well known and respected by the music community. They've been involved in events and festivals and the music world for years. So there's like an automatic trust and understanding that they get what it is in the music space. The other thing that we are observing is that, not shockingly, abuse numbers are higher than they've ever been. Depression numbers are higher than they've ever been with what's happening right now in the US. People are more isolated than they've ever been. And that's at the heart of what we're doing with Retrospekt. We're trying to create joy. We're trying to allow people to feel connected to their communities, connected to what they believe in, connected to supporting the arts in a time where it's really, really difficult to do that.
So I've got a loaded question for you, and this is just in general. What were some of the challenges in planning a virtual event?
Oh my God. So many. I mean, every aspect of what we concepted has changed. I think from the locations we were filming at to some of the core team at place, even with what happened politically with the protests, understanding that our artists and our lineup and everyone on our team were really affected by that and feeling uncomfortable leaving their houses, that affected when we were filming, working through COVID protocols on site, ensuring everyone felt safe there, working through creating new safety protocols, taking inspiration from the Event Safety Alliance. This was by far and has continued to be the most challenging experience that I've ever produced, created, collaborated on in my life. Yeah. Even on site, as the executive producer, I worked super closely with our director of photography, who is incredible. She's produced like her IMDb of the past movies over the past 20 years that she's directed, TV shows, like she's incredible. And we would constantly kind of like tiff about my experience working in live events and like, you know, needing to be by certain schedules and just the way that you work in the event space compared to film, which it takes a while to get the shot perfect before you start filming, and you're constantly tweaking the lighting and like all these kind of nuances. And once we started to learn them as the production team, we were able to kind of groom and educate the talent about it. But there was a learning curve to understanding, like, this is kind of more like a music video than it is a festival, even though we're being run like a festival right now. And so even that, and even understanding the right way to work through that, there was a learning curve associated. And, you know, a lot of people are questioning the validity of live streams. And we understand that. We're hoping to debunk that and show that it can be done in a really sophisticated way. Because there's no other choice really right now other than to offer any sort of entertainment to people.
Well, it sounds like you are on the way to producing something that people aren't expecting. Between the visuals and the curation and the mission, I think it's all just fantastic. We're coming up on time, so I just wanted to turn the floor over to you. Plug the website. Where can we tune in?
Everything in Retrospekt. This has been a crazy, crazy 2020, and we would love for everyone to join us this weekend to celebrate our differences on screen and feel more connected. We know of watch parties from LA to New York and everywhere in between happening. Obviously, socially distanced watch parties. If you're interested in being a part of the experience and joining our festival fam, go to retrospektfest.com. We'd encourage you to RSVP via Night Out. There's a link within our festival for that. We're encouraging a suggested donation of $20 a person. If you are able to contribute, we would gratefully appreciate it, as all the funds go to artist relief and the charities involved. And we are selling some merch as well. Feel free to poke around at that on the site. We have some cool face masks. Here, I'm totally going to plug this. I'm obsessed with this shirt. Here's one of our merch shirts.
Ooh,
it's pretty cool.
I love that
it's
logo.
Like
I love that logo.
And then it's like easy and comfy and like great for summer. And then also we have a number as a festival, so feel free to text us. We're sending cool tidbits and things throughout, and you never know if your stuff's going to make it on screen. We're at 310-359-1619.
All right. Well, I'll put all those links in the description below. Lauren, once again, thank you so much for your time during a crazy busy week, and I'm really excited to see the Retrospekt Festival this weekend.
Me too.
All right. Take care.
Thanks.
Thanks for tuning into this interview. I hope you loved learning more about the Retrospekt Festival as much as I did. There's just so much purpose and intention behind the event, and they seem to be committing to doing things a lot different and better than what we've seen thus far. Once again, don't forget to tune into the event this Saturday and Sunday, July 11th and 12th. I'll put the links to the description below. Once again, don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for future Beatstop videos. My name is Ace, and I'll see you next time.